Okay, we're doing preventing reverse stroke and heart attack. We're on page 136. We're sort of finishing up tonight with basically what's the way to do it. And, same old diet. The best diet is low fat, low sodium. It's actually low protein too. 100% vegan, 100% organic, 100% single ingredient foods. Okay, you want to be low fat because high fat diets, they increase insulin resistance, they increase obesity, they increase hypertension. You want to be low sodium because high sodium increases hypertension. And basically by eating plant foods, you automatically raise your potassium and lower your sodium intake, whole plant foods, because they're an intracellular ion. So the whole food is intact, so the cells are intact. And processed food, they smush it, they grind it up, rinse it with water and solvents, and they rinse away the potassium and the magnesium. But you get that when you eat the whole foods. That's why it's good to eat the whole foods. You want to be 100% vegan because there's nothing in animal foods that you need. You can easily take vitamin B12 is the only supplement I take. It's methylcobalamin. Okay. You want to be 100% organic because they spray toxic stuff on the non-organic food like glyphosate. Same thing, main active ingredient in Roundup, as well as atrazine. So you don't want to go down that path if you can avoid it. Starches are pretty cheap, a lot cheaper than fruits. Fruits are good, but fruits are kind of expensive in comparison. 100% single ingredient foods, like I said, they can add something to the second ingredient, okay? No nuts, seeds, avocados, caffeine, or oil. They all increase your blood lipids. You don't want that. No oils, none at all, okay? Caffeine, mimics a stress response, increases cortisol and catecholamines. So that's going to increase your blood lipids, increase your blood pressure. That's all atherogenic. Alcohol is, real strongly predisposes you to fatty liver, which pushes you towards diabetes. You don't want that. No tobacco, no vaping, no marijuana. Marijuana is for idiots. It's neurotoxic. You don't want to mess with it. It's estrogenic. Do some exercise every day. At least do some walking. Try to work it into your routine, whatever it is. If you work in an office building, take the stairs, Put some extra books in your backpack, get some extra exercise in that way. Just do something. Get a treadmill if you can. Or, figure out for yourself what will fit into your day. Like, I don't really like going to health clubs. It's too much of a pain in the butt, and, they're expensive and stuff. All you got to do is, have a way to work out in your daily context. Get your sleep, try for 7 or 8 hours. You really want more than 6. Try for 7 or 8. Manage your stress. Figure out what it takes to do that. Usually that means, avoid all the, the nonsense, fake news, and all that kind of stuff. Practice one of the major religions. Religious people are a lot healthier. Okay, have a strong sense of purpose in your life. That makes you much stronger when this is how much time I got left in my life approximately, so I'm going to do the best I can with this or that. It just makes you a lot more resilient. I've seen it in people. I know it's true. And just a goal to help your patients, help your clients, help your students, help your athletes, whatever you do. Try to maintain some family and social relationships. Try to get along with people. Socially isolated people don't live as long. Get some sunshine. We're made to get it from the sun. There's other benefits besides just vitamin D. It's good for your mitochondria, good for your nitric oxide precursors. I don't ever wear sunscreen. I hate sunscreen. Okay, this is all about caloric density. You never want to eat oils. That's the highest caloric density thing. Next in line is the nuts and seeds and avocados. They're a totally overrated food. There's just big money going into that. Dr. McDougall had said that in the Seventh-day Adventist studies, a lot of these studies were funded by, nut and related corporate industries. Meat and cheese are also high caloric density. You want to avoid everything from an animal. I don't like the sugar diet. It reactivated a cavity of mine, and, every dentist I've read, and I've read a whole bunch of stuff on dentistry, they all say stay away from sugar. And, it tastes good. McDougall would say you could sprinkle a little bit on the outside of your food, but I think it's best avoided. You can do what you want on that. If you have to drink something sweet, the sweetest I would go is beet juice. That does help you, give you increased energy an hour and a half before a workout. Here's your starches, about 1 calorie, per gram. And those tend to keep you healthy. Fruits are in about the same category, but starches satisfy hunger better than fruits. Beans probably have the longest satisfaction of hunger. The lower fat ones, they lower your body weight. 1% of calories from fat in potatoes, sweet potatoes, and white rice. 3% of calories in lentils. in comparison, 13% of calories from fat in garbanzo beans. So like if you got kids and they're rapidly growing and they're hyperactive, garbanzo beans got a little more fat in there. Same thing with oatmeal and quinoa, for example, as good starches. The veggies are the lowest caloric density stuff. So if you want to lose weight, eat more and more percentage of your calories from veggies. As Esselstyn says, no oil, not one drop. It's all bad. And then other people say, oh, you can have a little nuts and seeds. Dr. Goldhamer, he measures out a little tiny sample of 1 ounce of nuts that he'll eat sometimes. And I'm like, he's so obsessive compulsive. The old joke, if you put a lump of coal in his rectum, by dinner time you'd have a diamond. Okay, regular person is not going to do that. So, I don't think for a regular person that should be your goal. Nuts and seeds, billion-dollar corporate products. All the billion-dollar corporate products, they get tons of advertising they don't deserve, claiming they're health foods. Same thing with olive oil. Starches are best because they're low caloric density, stretch your stomach, early satisfaction of hunger. Then as they go through your intestinal tract, you got to peel the fiber off before the glucose is absorbed into the gut. So it takes time, and the net result is that it has the effect of a slow-release energy pill, and it satisfies your hunger a prolonged amount of time. Okay, and here's just showing the different curves for the foods. Basically, when you eat the starches, your sugar goes up a little bit, your blood glucose level, that's normal, but you stay close to, bright being in the zone, ideal blood sugar a prolonged amount of time, so you feel good, your hunger satisfied, optimal body weight. Simple sugars, you have a tendency to rebound hypoglycemia. The pancreas overcompensates, releases too much insulin, drives your blood glucose down. Then you feel lousy, so you eat more sweets, and you end up with a roller coaster blood glucose curve. And that also can cause big mood swings and can cause other symptoms. It can cause scintillating lights in your eye vision, headaches, a feeling of impending doom, all kinds of lousy feelings. So if you eat the fat first, or fat with the carbohydrates, you'll get insulin resistance, so your blood glucose will stay high a prolonged amount of time, so you don't want to do that. Okay, and then this is just showing you the bliss point. The food companies test their research by adding a certain amount of MSG, MFG, manufactured free glutamate, monosodium glutamate, salt, high fructose corn syrup, fat, fry it, to find the optimal way to make it taste so people will buy as much as possible. So you never want to eat processed food. It's always going to be full of chemicals, often fungal inhibitors as preservatives that are mitochondrial toxins, and they can also contain other toxic chemicals in there like HG. You don't want that. Okay, and what you want to do is sort of learn all this stuff so that you can keep the perspective. McDougall says, why do I criticize medications and surgeries that don't work? It's because people that way will know the truth. They're not going to eat healthy until they realize it's the only effective way to age well and to minimize the risk of disease. Yeah, you want to have enough information that you can make an objective decision on how you want to live, how you want to eat. And I love this painting here, Wanderer Above the Sea Fog by Caspar David Friedrich. It's called, by looking from his back, you feel as if you're looking down, and that's sort of the view from above of one who has a reasonable amount of knowledge. I think we'll end it there, and on the next one we'll do the 20 dietary commandments. So I hope you found that.